They tell me that I'm never gonna make it. They want me to do something that could make sense. They hate when I keep dreaming I'll be famous, but I don't give a fuck, I'ma keep chasing. I got all this potential that's deep inside of me.
Welcome back to Taking My Power Back podcast with Charvonrenee. I am Charvonrenee, and welcome to the podcast. We are in a different environment again. Well, we've been in this environment. We're in my bedroom. The downstairs is being occupied right now, so we're gonna keep it pushing with the show. Before we jump into this podcast, I want to do my disclaimer that I do in every episode. Over a decade, I have been carrying around trauma that has physically and mentally paralyzed me. I have now taken the steps in taking my power back by doing therapy and a ton of self-care, and giving glory to God. This podcast is not to bash anyone, nor is it to make people feel bad. I guess this is me telling my stories and hoping to help others, for them to find grace and give others grace by taking their power back, right? And so yeah, we're just gonna jump right into the topic, honey, because today's topic, we've talked a lot about certain situations that's happened in my life, right? And I wanted to take the time out to acknowledge the trauma that I may have caused to other people, right? And a lot of times when we are on our healing journeys, of what I've seen, like from online and things like that, I see a lot of people talking about a lot of things that people have done to them, or you know what I'm saying, but not a lot about what trauma us as people have caused to other people, right? And I feel like if I'm on my healing journey, you know what I mean, and some really crappy things have happened to me, right? But at the same time, I have to stop and I have to think about others, and I guess that's just the type of person that I am. That I'm always thinking about other people, and I guess that it's a good and a bad thing, right? But to honestly just like sit back and think like, dang, Charvon, you hurt people too, you know what I mean? And for sure I know I hurt people. Number one, I'm a Cancer, right? We are the sweetest people ever. We love, we give, but if you cross us, baby, my goal is to make you cry. Okay? And in 2024, I don't want to be that person no more. I don't want to weaponize the knowledge that I have on people to hurt them or to break them, because I'll be a hypocrite, right? Because that's what people have done with me in my life. So although it's not something that is done often, I can fully admit to say, yeah, girl, you didn't hurt some people. You didn't went down to the bottom of the bucket and was like, let me get all of this ugliness and spew it out back to you, because I'm hurt and I want to make sure that I can break them into little pieces. And I guess the first step of trying to even being a better person, or being a better you, or saying that you want to be a better person overall, you have to acknowledge the trauma that you have caused to other people. And so with that being said, after I did my episode about, I guess it was like a few episodes that I talked about my suicidal attempts or whatever. And I was really sitting back thinking like, dang, Charvon, you never really like thought about the trauma that your actions did to other people, the fear that you put in other people, that you didn't want to be here no more. And like I'm saying, like the people that knew about my suicidal attempts or whatever before I brought it out to, you know, on my podcast or whatever. And number one, like my husband, you know, because I on 2 occasions when I was really in a dark place, when he came home and he wasn't even supposed to be home, and he walked in on, you know, me attempting to do something, and thank God he came home, right? But I didn't really think, like, dang, what that possibly could do to him, right? Like, I know it's like a traumatizing thing, right? And I don't know, I was just thinking about, like, dang, that's something very traumatic for somebody to walk in on somebody that they love, that you're taking a selfish moment. And I guess, like, and I don't want to say, I want to say selfish, right? But not selfish, because it's like in the mindset that you're in, you don't, you're not doing it to be selfish. You're trying to do any and everything to not have that pain in you, right? And, you know, we never, like the show 13 Reasons Why, going through that show, it really showed that it wasn't just one reason. There was multiple reasons of why she committed suicide, right? And multiple things that built up. But, like, I don't want, because I know how I feel, like, I know how hurt and things I felt with all the trauma that I have been dealing with or whatever. But I never want to purposely hurt people, right? Now, I'm not going to say I haven't purposely hurt people, because, number one, I'm a Cancer, okay? And we are the nicest people. We will love you, give you whatever you want, like, help. We are just a sweetheart. We cry babies, you know? But when and if you cross us, we're going to go down to the bottom of the barrel and pull up any dirty anything to just hurt your feelings, to make you feel this small, right? And I don't want to be that person in 2024. Like, I don't want to be like, if you, I don't want the tit for tat type of thing, you know what I mean? Like with my sisters. Now, I got a separate episode of talking about our relationship, right? Because our relationships are like rocky, right? But I know for sure when I feel threatened, or like I feel like they're hurting me on purpose, I will weaponize it and use any information to make them like hurt, you know what I mean? And in the moment, I don't care, you know what I'm saying? But afterwards, I'm like, dang, Charvon, when they go low, you supposed to go high, but when they go low, bitch, you went down to the basement, like, you know what I mean? Or old friends that, or old associates that were not, well, friends, older friends that were no longer friends, you know what I mean? And you get into an argument and you just get so malicious. And it's not even like physical malicious, it's just like hurtful words that I know will hurt your feelings, right? And I just been praying and like asking God to take that part of me away, because really I'm not that person, right? Or like, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person to inflict pain on people. I love to love people. I love to help people. And there, some people are like, girl, you don't seem like, oh, you would do something like that, right? But I feel like we all have a petty side to us. And I am very, a very nice person. But there are times when you can just be nasty, you know what I mean, and evil to people who don't like, I ain't gonna say they don't deserve it, Sharon. Okay, like, I'm not trying to, I'm not saying don't deserve it, because it's just like, I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't want to stoop down to that level. I don't want to be on the level that they are to cause pain, right? But I also want to own up to me also causing trauma to people as well. Another example I can give is, back when I was working, and I talked about this before on my podcast. I had talked about, or not my podcast, I talked about this in either a live or a video of when I was working at the hospital. And there was this one girl that I had trained. Now, I had trained her. She was only there for, I think, maybe a year after I trained her. And the supervisor was giving out a new role of like a head sitter, right? And we all thought it was going to be me, myself, or me, or a few other veteran sitters that's been there since like years and years and years. And it ended up being the girl that I trained, right? Now, I wasn't the only one upset, but I participated in open conversations, right? Which, it was never anything malicious. We was all salty, you know what I mean? And we all felt some type of way. But I didn't know that the conversations hurt the girl's feelings, right? And the manager back then, baby, first of all, if you're a manager, you're supposed to bring something to the table when something happens, not wait a whole year and put in an evaluation. Like, that's like, I don't know, people just do stuff weird. Like, if I knew the issue was, if I knew it was an issue early on, because we vocalized it as a group, we vocalized it to the manager, like everybody knew that we were upset. But I got called out because they're like, oh, you're the person, you're supposed to be a nice person, but you're coming off as a bully. And I'm like, I'm not bullying nobody. I'm speaking facts that I felt like, you know, and we all felt like y'all should have picked somebody who was already on the job or whatever, and who knows the system or whatever, and who knows everything, you know what I mean? But we felt it was favoritism because the person they picked, they had a sister-in-law that was on the team, that was good friends with the manager. So we all took it as favoritism. But when I found out in the, when I found out that the girl's feelings was hurt, because the manager put it in, and to me, like, okay, listen, if it was this bad, right, why would you put it in a year later at my end of the year review, but not pull me to the side, right? Because the manager what she put in the review was, I'm a great employee, I help the patients, and mind y'all, I won awards at this hospital, right? And then she was like, but also you're a bully. And I said, baby, ain't no bully. Where'd you get that from? And she was like, well, you did this to this person. Well, you were saying this to have open conversations to where other managers from the department heard you guys having conversations. But I stopped her there and I'm like, well, hon, if a manager, if you're telling me right now, at the end of the year, the end of my review, this happened earlier in the year, you're not a good manager. And I guess, well, I know it's not a guess. I know she got upset because she was like, excuse me? And I'm just like, if this happened in the beginning of the year, when it happened, I said, I know when it happened because everybody was upset about it. If this happened then, why didn't you as a manager come and say, oh, we need to address this? You let the conversations go on. You didn't address you didn't address our concerns when we asked you, why did you do it this way? You told us you did what you did and that was it. But now you throwing shots at the end of review. I have stellar reviews and then you're going to put this comment in there. I don't agree with it. And so after I left out of the meeting with the manager, I went to the girl and I'm like, hey, let me talk to you for a second. You know, and I'm like, I apologize because I didn't know this hurt your feelings. You know what I'm saying? I figured you probably understood, but I can see why you would be upset, right? So I apologized. And she was like, oh no, it wasn't that big of a deal. I was like, well, it was a big deal to the manager because she put it in my review. And she was like, well, I didn't even tell her that this. So that means information got from, okay. But the whole reason I went to apologize to her is because I'm not that type of person to purposely want to hurt somebody's feelings, right? And at the time, we were all so upset that we consumed in our feelings, that in the process, an innocent person, you know, got their feelings hurt, you know what I mean, in the process. And so, with that being said, with any actions that I do, or anything that I do moving forward, whether it be well, personal relationships, friendships, crossing, you know, people are coming and crossing, I always try to be the best person that I can be. But players fuck up too. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I just moving forward in 2024, I know for sure I do not want to purposely hurt people's feelings. I do not purposely want to just be nasty, like evil, or to try to hurt somebody's feelings, right? That's not the type of person I want to continue to be at all. Like I said, I am a good person, but I do have some flaws that I know I need to work on, and I know God's working on, right? And for y'all, I just want y'all to really just sit back. You know, it is New Year's Day. Everybody's like, oh, what's your New Year's resolution? Oh, I'm about to get skinny. Oh, I want to get this. I want to get that. I'm not going to eat this. I'm not going to do that. Those are all great resolutions, right? But let's dive deep into ourselves, and changing us as a whole, right? Because if I'm taking my power back, I want people to take their power back too. And honestly, from the bottom of my heart, if I have ever hurt any one of you guys with words, or if you feeling dismissed, or dismissed, or anything, I, from the bottom of my heart, apologize, because that is not something that I want to leave my mark in the world, you know. And yeah, I don't know, it's just, I don't know, it's just something about when God start working on you and you really start to like look at your overall. Sorry, I don't know if I can hear the fire trucks. Okay. Sorry, I was trying to wait till the fire trucks go by. Yeah, I don't know. It's like God is working on me, and He is giving me a different outlook on life. You know what I mean? And in order to be a better person, we have to look at our flaws also, and not just the flaws that people, or not just the things that people have done to us. We have to think about the things that we have done to people. So yeah, y'all, that's the tea, the real kiki. It's just yeah. It's just, you know, I don't know. We gonna bring 2024 in, right? We gonna give grace to people. We're gonna give grace. Oh, excuse me. We're gonna give grace to people. We're gonna give grace to ourselves. We are going to love on each other. And if you can't, if it's people that's around you that you just know brings out the bad in you, then it's time to be like, okay, this ain't it. You know what I mean? Like, it could be friends, it could be family, it could be co-workers, if you know that these people make you feel a certain type of way, you have to remove yourself out of those situations. You have to remove yourself from that environment. And a lot of things for me are about to change in 2024. I love a lot of people. I love hard, and when I love hard, right? But and this last week, y'all, the last week in 2023 has been one of the hardest weeks of my life. Okay. It's like everything that, how do I word this? Everything that the devil knew got to me was thrown at me this week, right? But I'm still standing. God is with me, and we're gonna keep it pushing, you know? So, like I keep saying, remove yourself from certain situations, remove yourself from people. Even if you love them, you just have to move forward with life and let God lead you. Because let me tell you, our Father, He got our backs, okay? And yeah, y'all, that's the podcast. This is a short podcast today, but I really wanted to address, you know what I mean, the trauma that I have caused to other people. And yeah. And just know 2024, we're going to do better. We're going to be better people, y'all. So, as always, thank you guys for tuning in to Taking My Power Back podcast. I love you guys. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the views, y'all. I am very excited about this podcast. Like, I don't know. I am just very, very excited, and the new things that are coming out of this and the things that I'm learning about myself. And yeah. So I love you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you guys next Sunday. Bye.
They tell me that I'm never gonna make it. They want me to do something that could make sense. They hate when I keep dreaming I'll be famous, but I don't give a fuck, I'ma keep chasing. I got all this potential that's deep inside of me,